I'm Carrie Peters, a recognized thought leader in the Microsoft Dynamics community and a Microsoft MVP for business applications. Welcome to the Get Your New View podcast. Keep listening to learn how we work with frustrated business, central, and NAV users who struggle to use their systems and find the answers that they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. In this next season of the Get Your New View podcast, I'd like you to meet Kim Congleton. Kim and I are the co-owners of New View Strategies, and this season, we'll be talking with you all about change management and cheese. Hi, everybody. This is Carrie and Kim, and we're back here talking more about cheese. And today we want to talk about who put cheese in my blender. What we're really talking about is change management. And in our last episode, we talked about how the old business parable of who moved my cheese really isn't relevant anymore. And I know that when Kim and I sat down to talk about this, we said, gosh, it really seems like it's more like somebody put my cheese in a blender. There's certainly not a single point of change that we're chasing anymore. We're trying to figure out how we adapt to constant change. So, Kim, you had a story about acceleration and how a particular company and customer that you had in the past, who we're not going to specifically identify, dealt with acceleration and constant change.
Yeah, so we'll kind of talk in terms of a lemonade company. We like to use a lemonade stand as an example in some of our classes, and I think it's a good analogy. But one of the things that is really more prevalent than ever is how fast change is happening. So with the lemonade company, they started out pretty small, started selling lemonade at like the farmer's market. And the next thing you know, they're getting, a manufacturing plant, they're manufacturing jam and all of that type of stuff. And then they start acquiring different businesses. So now they might have like lemonade and maybe some mixed drinks, where the lemonade is in like a mixer for a margarita. And then maybe they won't move to like snacks. So there's snack mix and there's crackers and there's cookies and all of this. And, it's pretty interesting to see how something that starts so small can start growing and growing and growing over time, and really trying to build their business to be where it can adapt quickly and bring new business lines on quickly. So making sure they have the skills internally with the people and the tools in IT to make that happen. And kind of like you said, there's somebody that we know that's done that very well. And it's pretty fascinating to watch that happen for a company.
Yeah. So they had to expand pretty quickly because they were going after an opportunity where they had demand in place, right? So they really had to move fast and be quick with that. But how did they deal with that culture of new? They started off with one main product, right? Lemonade. Mm-hmm. And how did they deal with all of those new things being part of that change?
I think what really helped them a lot, just from observations from the outside looking in, is, they had a really solid leadership team in IT and in the company in the different areas and manufacturing and all of those different departments. And I think it was really kind of getting people excited about the change. They're one of the few places that I've seen that does like change well. So making sure that people are involved, making sure that they know, why we're making this change, I think is really critical to their success.
So I know these folks with the lemonade stand as well, and I absolutely agree. Their leadership team does a great job of doing that. And one of the things that I admire about them very much is they have developed change management as a soft skill. It's not just a project management methodology. It's how they are as individual people and how they are as a group. So as you've seen that use of change management as a soft skill, why does that make some organizations more successful when that's part of the equation?
Well, and actually you make a really good point. Like, it's, to me, there's a project management plan and there's a change management plan. And it's two separate things that have to run together. And you're totally right. Project management is all about time organization, resource organization, and change management is 100% a soft skill, right? It's getting people to buy in and understand what's in it for me. That's always the question they're going to want to know. I can think of projects where I've done WMS implementations, where people are doing stuff in the warehouse on paper, and now we're going to have them use handhelds. And there's always that, oh, but if you automate stuff, now there's not going to be as many people in the warehouse. So really making sure that you can relate to people and get them to buy into the change is always going to make it easier, and it's always going to be a soft skill. It's not ever anything. It's always that.
Yeah, I love that. That's very important to remember, that as we're managing all these different projects and priorities, that is a completely separate thing. It reminds me of a mentor that I had years and years ago, and we were focusing on something that had to do with accounting and financial stuff, and it was all deep down in the numbers. And as we were talking through the project and figuring out how to make it go really right, he looked me straight in the eye. He said, "Carrie, don't forget, it's all about the people, and that's all that matters." And that really stuck with me as we thought about that project and how to make that work.
Yeah.
Yep. So when we think about change management in particular with this episode, we're really talking about developing that soft skill. And having that soft skill is going to help you to become more nimble as a business, just like it did for our friends at the lemonade stand. So here's our action item for you who are listening. Think about what the constant change is in your business. Which of your cheese has been put into the blender? And exactly how are you going to deal with that? What are the biggest challenges, and how are you going to use the soft skill of change management to help you get through that blender situation? All right, it's time to talk about cheese. So we have an example for cheese in a blender of goat cheese. And I know Kim's got a great example with what she's done because she's prepared some goat cheese with some things in it. So why don't you tell us about your goat cheese first, Kim?
Well, I always, I'm not a big, huge, like plain goat cheese fan, unless it's like deep fried. And maybe that's the theme for the cheese going forward. But I always like to mix things. I'll buy like a plain goat cheese and mix some things in with it, like blueberry jam. There's really good blueberry jam that goes well with it. Or I have some honey as well. And then this is some fresh honey for my parents. They have bees.
Awesome.
I also like to put a little extra on. And then I also like to put a little fancy salt on, because I find that goat cheese needs a little salt. I mean, that may be a theme. I may put salt on everything, but
delicious. So, I love that. And I'll tell you about the one that I brought as well. I'm going to put mine on an apple slice. And I have some goat cheese mixed with fig. So hopefully y'all can see that. It looks good. It smells delicious. So we're going to go ahead and eat some cheese. And in the next episode, we're going to be talking about, here, smell this. How do you get help to recognize when change is needed? We'll see you in the next episode. I'm Carrie Peters. Thank you for tuning in to the Get Your New View podcast. For more episodes like this on YouTube, click the subscribe button and ring the bell to ensure that you get notified whenever new content comes out. If you're listening to the audio podcast, please share an honest review on Apple Podcasts. If you are ready to rethink today for tomorrow, look for the link below and contact us to speak with our expert team. You won't find the level of no-nonsense real-world experience we offer anywhere else, and we're here to put that experience to work for you. Do you think you could use more features of your software if you just knew how? Are you frustrated with inefficiency that never seems to get better? Did your team ever really get good training to understand how to use your business software? Do you suspect there just has to be a better way and you don't know what it is? We believe every company can benefit from increased efficiency and higher utilization of their software, and that it's possible to have fun while learning exactly how to do that. The experts at NewView Strategies work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. Please contact us at getyournewview.com to get started.